Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about iZombie Season 3, Episode 2. It's called Zombie Knows Best. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, we got some brain eating this week, which is the one
Yep.
thing we'd kind of missed last week. We missed the montage of cooking, and we also missed the personalities. And we got it in spades this week because we got a double dose.
Oh, absolutely. And the cooking, the chili dogs, absolutely. I want one of those. I don't care if there's brain in that. I want one.
What made it even better though was Clive reacting to it.
Yeah. It's
Clive,
so refreshing, isn't it?
Clive reacting to it and being just like, and the fact that Ravi's so comfortable that he's just eating, he's just munching away, and he offers Clive, and he's like, no,
No.
I'm good, I'm good. Uh, but no, him being in on the personality and knowing what's going on, it actually makes for a really nice, like, just fresh start, because there's a moment where Liv has a flash, like, mid-interrogation, and he knows what it is. So he
Yeah.
actually opens the door and says, anything you'd like to ask, Liv? Like, he
Yeah.
knows what's just happened, and it makes for such a change from what
I
we're
like
so
that
used
they,
to.
they addressed that how it kind of feels like this fresh start as well. Because Ravi's like, hey, it's nice to have all of us together solving cases, all in on it.
Yeah, yeah.
We should get a van and a dog.
Yeah, if anyone's going to make a meta reference, it's going to be Ravi.
Exactly.
Before we get to the main plot, I want to point out we have a new character who I'm assuming sticking around. We
I
have
hope
a
so.
we have a goth tech guy at the police station who does, you know, the technical forensic sort of stuff. You know, he tries to put the phone back together or hacking,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And he's a goth, and he speaks like everything's important. Like he talks about how he talks about existence and shit like that. I can't even describe it,
It's
but
kind of stereotypical Goth 101.
yeah, but he's just talking about what he's doing, but he just puts it in
Yeah.
this phrasing. Uh,
Do you know what I love? I can't tell if he's in on zombies or not, or if he's just being a goth. There's multiple times where when he's talking about getting the text, he's like, "I resurrected them," and he kind of
yeah,
gives a look, and then when he looks at Liv, he's like, "Hey, you should go to this club or whatever it was."
I hope he's not a zombie because that makes it funnier.
It does make it funnier, but I can't tell, which I love.
I think he's just a goth, and I think he looks at Liv and goes, "Oh, you're just a gothy person like me."
Yeah,
I think
probably.
I think that's what he's thinking. So we have him, and he was I'll add a couple of scenes, but he was amusing in both these scenes, so that's cool.
Yeah,
This one played with a slightly different structure than usual, and I liked what this one did because we spoke last week about how we had this interest in this kid Wally that was killed at the end of the last episode. How many of his family were killed because there were zombies, or at least he was, and we said, oh, it worked quite well, but one of the complaints was, oh, we just found out that Clive knew this kid in this episode. It felt a little bit shoehorned in. This episode made it feel more real because this episode actually gave us the story. It gave us the actual time where they got to know each other, and it worked that they had good chemistry throughout those scenes. Clive also had good chemistry with the mother that he sort of was growing close to, and it looked like it was going to become a relationship, and it just never quite did because of timing and
yeah,
all that. And I thought they were spaced out very neatly. There was a couple of good in jokes in there as well. The fact that this is how Clive discovers Game of Thrones, when there's been a joke beforehand about how he's so angry that George R. R.
yeah,
Martin is not finishing the books
yeah.
on time.
And also, I was just as soon as he started putting on Game of Thrones, I was like, "Is this kid not a bit young for Game of
Joe,
Thrones?"
what's
Like,
funny? This is the second time this week I've thought that same thought, because we had the Agents of Shield, and the little girl in that wanted to watch Chopping Mall, and the exact same thing happened in that where I went, wait a minute, should she be watching Chopping Mall? There's like nudity and stuff in that, but then like a minute later, Max said, yeah, but I'm fast forwarding through the naughty bits, and I'm like, all right,
yeah.
okay, they've addressed it. It was the same thing here, where Clive goes along with it, and then the mother comes in and says, "You let my 9-year-old watch Game of Thrones."
The exact reaction a parent should have.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, good chemistry. I actually kind of liked it. It's a shame she's already dead because
It is.
I might have enjoyed them rekindling the relationship. They
Hmm.
actually had a really natural thing going. It was
I
nice.
think that does make it more effective though,
It
because
does.
it like you wanted it to continue.
And I think that's why the because we don't actually realize this quite at the start. It's not until it links up at the end and you realize the scene that starts the episode is actually the end of the episode.
Hmm.
Where the other detective who's actually working the case because Clive's too close to it is another detective that's working the homicide, and he's questioning Clive about his connection to Wally and his mother. And it's like they used to be neighbours, and it turned out like the father was a sort of hot-headed criminal, and Clive sent him away, and they bonded while he was gone, and this whole thing. But he's asking all these questions like, how close were you? And Clive plays it off as, some chance encounters, but we see there's a little bit more than that. It was the start of something, but it never quite got there. But I actually thought, well, because I think one of the complaints we had in season 1, and maybe even early season 2, is we like Clive, but it didn't really feel like he had much to him in terms of depth.
As well.
Yeah, there wasn't like a deep character there. He was kind of the straight man, but there wasn't much more to him. And they gave us more of that throughout season 2. We got to know him better, and it felt like he was an actual character. You know, had a relationship with someone else, and it felt. And again, they had good chemistry. There's 2 times he's had good chemistry with someone. But here, again, it really gave me a Clive episode where I'm like, okay, I'm actually feeling sympathetic with him. I'm getting what he's going through. And at the end of the episode, when the other detective sort of gets what he's poked, he realizes he's poked a kind of sensitive issue, and he says, "Do you ever look back, and think if you weren't away for that, those last couple of weeks before her husband came back and she had to go and live with her brother, things may have turned out differently. What would things be like if you'd been there?" And Clive sort of like sucks it up, and tries to be manly and says, once or twice, and you kind of know that he's thought about it a little bit more than that. And
yeah,
it worked. I bought it. I felt it, and good acting for a start. I think he's
definitely
doing good stuff. But no, so I think that's maybe the biggest praise. I mean, there was a lot of fun stuff in this episode as well. Don't get me wrong, but I think the biggest praise I'd give to this was they gave me this backstory to how he knew this kid Wally. Which, by the way, every time I said Wally, I thought Wally West because
it didn't help that the mother was on Flash for an episode. She was a PI.
It also doesn't help that the kid looks like he could play the current comic version of Kid Flash.
Yeah. Age him up a few years and
maybe 2 years older, 2-3 years older, and he would be perfect for the current comic Flash, because obviously the TV Flash is like 20.
yeah, but a couple of years and that's it.
Yeah, he could be the current comic Kid Flash. But you say Wally to me, and that's what I think of. I think of Wally West, but no, they had good chemistry. Muller had good chemistry, and they made me care about Babineau's story with this woman and this kid, and that's good because it gives him a driving force for the rest of the season, and I'm invested in why he cares so much. It feels a bit more personal.
Yeah, I think that's why for me this was such a strong episode, because last episode was all plot, which was, it was important. We needed it. We said that then, but I was missing the fun, wacky, here's a brain side of things.
Which this episode gave us, but it actually gave us this on top of that. It gave us this good story at the core.
Really well.
Yeah. So if I'm going to make a complaint, a couple of the transitions to the flashbacks were arrow-worthy in terms of their goofiness, because they did these fancy transitions where it went behind a computer monitor and came out the other side in the flashback. And
but these guys do it the once. Arrow does it every week.
True.
They should have learned better.
Oh, Arrow's been doing it every week for 5 years.
Yeah, they should have improved.
But that would be like my minor complaint. And to stick on this plot with this sort of main case, the key thing they find out is because they think the neighbour may have something to do with it. Maybe because he's realised because Major discovers at Fillmore Graves that they've got zombie brain, or not zombie brains, but brains in tubes for them to eat, and it's all mixed from different brains, and that actually stops the effect of getting the personality because it's just like a mishmash, which actually makes sense to me.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
Yeah. Not too much of any one brain.
Yeah.
They just, like you slice one bit of brain, and then another bit, 5 of them together.
Yeah. Especially if you get like opposites. If you get if you took say Liv and Major in this episode, if you took if they ate half each one together.
Yeah, would it cancel each other out?
Yeah, that kind of thing. It actually oddly there's no science to any of this, but it oddly makes sense to me. So cool.
Yeah, it does.
But because of that connection, and the neighbour reported it, they go to the neighbour and they talk to him, and they basically find out there's message boards, and like these people were outed online. Like people were putting up like a photo of their house saying this is where they live, and that's what kind of led to the murder, which raises stakes for the Fillmore Graves whole. We're going to come out as zombies and take the city. Well, not take the city, but you know what I mean. Like set up this whole zombie capital idea, and like again, Clive being close to this family, and I feel it more than this one now that I actually care about his connection to the family. But he really is this like sort of bridge between the two types of people, because he brings up natural concerns. He's like, oh, there's this mayor who's a zombie. He's running for mayor. Like, I hope he doesn't scratch anyone by accident when he's out, like holding babies for foes.
Any babies, yeah.
And that's a valid concern. And the woman kind of plays it off, oh, that's racist. That's our reaction to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but it's a fella. Because as much as I don't think, yeah, if zombies are like this, if they like live and they're otherwise normal, other than eating the brains, yeah, sure, they should have rights and they should be treated relatively equally. But there is at least a legitimate concern with this race. It's not like other races in the real world. If they accidentally touch you the wrong way, you
maybe wear gloves.
Yeah, if you're a zombie, wear gloves. Be considerate.
That's all.
That's all I'm
I don't
saying.
think that's too much to ask.
It's an actual practical reason why there is a concern, and that's fair.
Yeah, because no one's blaming them, or at least in this case, Clive isn't blaming them. He's just saying, accidents can happen quite easily. A little slip.
Yeah, I think gloves would be a good idea.
I do too.
Maybe they'll make that a law. Like zombies are completely okay; they have every right that everyone else does. However, when you're in public, you must be wearing a glove.
A glove, just one glove.
A pair of gloves. I do apologise, you pedantic ginger prick.
I couldn't let it go. Sorry.
All right, so that was. I mean, that was technically the B plot, given that we had an A plot as well, but it felt more important.
But that was because that was the overarching plot.
Yeah.
So even though it was the B plot for the episode, it's the A plot for the season.
Yeah, it got a lot of screen time though, so I feel like it's more even than it usually is.
Oh, definitely.
Because normally I feel like the A plot would take up more time. The actual A plot, so this father-daughter, which is the brains that live in Major ended up eating, are killed in a sort of hit and run. But it seems like it was intentional when they actually investigate it a bit.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing about the daughter's friend, having a secret, them having a falling out, and long story short, it all turns out to be that she was having an affair with her stepdad. The girl who got killed found out about it, was going to tell the police because it's statutory rape. He's like a 40-year-old guy, and it turns out to be the mother. The goth tech guy comes in and explains how they could tell who it was that knew, because the girl didn't tell anyone, and that was fine. It had a couple of good moments, but honestly, the main enjoyment from this was the effect it had on Living Major. It was the brains.
Oh, definitely.
It was Major speaking like a teenage girl and getting over emotional and putting on music and complaining about things and in the locker room, especially when he's with the other guys. Now, luckily they're also zombies, so when he says that he's on teenage girl brain, they just completely get it and they're like, fine.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you should start eating this. No personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, when he brings up to Liv says, "No, you will be a murder solver, young man."
Yeah. We regular brains in this house.
Yeah, that was the line. Oh god. And Joe, what's funny is Major didn't get a whole lot of this to do last season, but it's nice to see that he can also pull out these other personalities.
Yeah, because it's a tough skill. Obviously they're actors and that's kind of their job, but it is such a drastic change, but you've still got to do it while being recognisable. Yeah,
they still have to do it whilst also being the same character. It's like this weird mix of things they have to do, which you don't usually get asked to do in an acting job, I don't think. And obviously Rose McIver's been doing it really well since the start of the show, but there was some great stuff with her as well, being the grumpy old man and promising Ravi $5 for finding evidence.
I love that Ravi abused it. He's so just in tune with all the zombie stuff that when she fixes wheels, he's like, hey, the smoke detectors could do with new batteries. Just knowing that she'll have to change them for him.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like how he's annoyed at first, but then he gets some proper dad advice about Peyton. Because he's worried about Peyton, he doesn't want to talk to her and so on. But she convinces him, "No, you're a good young man, Ravi. You won't blow up in our face because you underestimate yourself."
Great,
but I think all that stuff was really fun. It made the A plot, even though the actual plot itself, the actual case was kind of it didn't really amount to much.
You can kind of say that about 90% of these sort of cases in this show. But
it was fine. It gave us fun moments for Liv more than anyone to play off of. In fact, probably one of the best moments is when both her and Major are in the interrogation room and Major lashes out as a teenage girl.
Yeah.
I
don't know, the one I love for me was when she comes in and he's got the music blasting and she's like, turn that down. and Clive's just like, oh, I've been putting off for this for the last hour.
I think my favourite moment is when they realise, so Major has this flash of showing the phone to the dad, as from the girl's perspective, and he doesn't see what's on the phone though because it's holding the other way. And Ravi has the great idea, well, we just have to get Liv to flash the other side of it then, don't we? And he
whips out his phone.
Yeah, he just starts showing the phone at her and saying the line. What was it? Oh, like, I don't know what the line was, but it was whatever the line that the girl
Yeah.
said in the flashback, and he just kept shouting it at her as he was putting out
And
the
then he
phone
goes,
in her
"Oh,
face.
sorry, actually, perspective's all wrong." And then he crouches and does it again.
And an American accent. He has an American accent for the last
Does,
one as
yeah.
well. Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh dear, yeah. So super fun, but the episode did a lot of good stuff, especially for Clave's character, which also gives the main plot a bit more weight as well, which is cool.
Definitely.
So, no, this was a solid episode of iZombie. Felt tight, good. So, yeah, let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. Individual Twitters are on the screen. And that's us, guys. So, thank you very much for watching. And if you got any vanilla brains,